Hey there, Big Cash crew. Eddie P back here with you once again for another edition of Eddie P's Forex Review, which we obviously do every Sunday. Just going to say before we start the show that if there's a particular currency you want us to review, just let us know. And obviously, you guys and gals know that I do the ICOs and altcoins during the week as well. So anything you want us to have a look at, just comment below or hit us up on the Facebook and the Twitter. Really appreciate the feedback, the likes, the share, so keep them coming. Anyway, for today, what we're going to be doing, obviously, because it's Sunday, is reviewing all our Forex charts and setting up for the week ahead. So let's get cooking with the show. All right, so we'll kick off today's show with the AUDUSD, and we are on the 240, or some folks call it the 4-hour chart, which is just much of a muchness. Now you can see here that at the end of the week, let's just make sure my head's not covering it. Good. So you can see here at the end of the week that the bears had a pretty strong push. We came into this management zone, this countering zone, and then the bulls kicked back in. Now, once the bulls kicked in, the bears said nope, and they came back down, and we sort of been middling in the zone pretty much for the whole of last week. But at the moment, we're encountering the long-term trend line, which is good, and we're still in this countering zone, so we're looking for an opportunity with a push back to the upside. So this week, excuse me, we'll see what happens in the first few hours of trading on Monday and then Tuesday thereafter, but we're looking for some kind of movement back to go on a movement to go back on a bull run. So just get this in here properly. There we go. Cool. So should we have some sort of trigger down here, some sort of bullish evidence, we want to be looking to at least move back to these highs here. You can see that this is definitely a zone where you encounter some resistance in recent past 2 times, or potentially go up to these highs here, or potentially go even higher. So it would be ideal is to return somewhere to this zone or up to these highs here. But yeah, we want to be at least on the lookout for a move somewhere to this region and hopefully to go this high before the week is out. Just adjust that so it's nice and tight. Cool. So that's the AUDUSD. Let us press on. Next one will be the NZDCAD. So with the NZDCAD, this one's obviously much easier to read. We've had a really slow and steady bull run over the last few weeks. And sorry guys, I should have said from the outset, we're on the daily chart. That's why it also looks a bit more stable than the 4-hourly, or certainly say the hourly or the 15-minute. So we're on the daily chart, and you can see here that at the end of that would have been at the beginning of last week. We had some beautiful signals, a couple of dojis. We had a bullish doji, then a bearish doji, and then the bears took back over and we're pushing to the downside. Now, we're still very much in an upward trend at the moment. We're just having a bit of a retrace with this countering zone, and that's why the countering zone is there, because this is a historical point of resistance for this currency pair. So at the moment, there is still a bit of movement. It sort of looked like the bears died a little bit on Thursday and Friday. I'll just zoom in a little bit more. If I can get this right, there we go. So you can see here, there's almost no volume in either of these candles, which is good because it means the market's probably slowing down. Now, this could take a few days to develop, but we want to look for a push back to this countering zone somewhere in this region. And should we hit this region, we want to be on the lookout for a bit of the old bullish potential. Now, with this currency, should we encounter this zone, we want to be looking to set sort of our profit limit somewhere around here. And should we see like strong bullish potential, even if we reach this area, then we want to be looking back up to this zone here and pull out a nice, decent long trade. All that said, this may take a couple days to materialize. You see how long it moved in about a week's time, so it could take a week just to get back down to this zone. So when you, excuse me, when you guys and gals are setting up your charts, make sure you have, what you're going to be working on. So Monday, Tuesday, when the markets begin and start to get heated up, but also have a second spreadsheet where you keep track of sort of your wish list, if you like, what you're going to be looking at sort of later in the week, and just to keep a little bit of an eye on, because you don't want to miss out on a good opportunity. I mean, if you look at this run, let's zoom out a little bit. If you get it somewhere around here and you follow and trade this up, I mean, this is some serious business. So it's important just to keep an eye on everything that you're trading and have a good little wish list on the side. Cool. Sticking with New Zealand, but moving back to the USA, we're going to go to the NZDUSD, and we're going to go to the 4-hour chart, or the 240. So with this guy here, you can see here that over recent weeks, we've had a pretty strong push to the downside. The bears got a bit of a kick up the ass by the bulls here, and then the bears said, hell no, and the kickback in and actually broke through the countering zone. After that, the bears have fought back, and now it's acting like a pretty great piece of resistance. You can see here, and hear what's happening. Now, at the moment, there isn't a beautiful clear trend because this is more like a double top than it is sort of one movement to the upside. So at the moment, excuse me, we want to be on the lookout for the next bull run, but we'll probably see, let me just get this going. Sorry, I'm off the Mac, I am on the PC, and it is all foreign to me. We want to see a push somewhere to the downside here again. You can see here in recent history 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. It keeps using this zone as a strong point of resistance, and every time we encounter this zone, or pardon me, I should say support, once we encounter this support zone, we always have, in recent memory, we've had many good pushes to the upside. Even here, you can see this here. The wicks are testing this area. This is a great countering zone. That's where you got to paint them into your charts because you can use them, for a long time, as long as the currency's bouncing in that zone, and if it returns back to that zone, these are good historical levels. So we want to be on the lookout for a push to the downside with a potential push back up. Now, should we have that, you can see that it's been difficult is probably the nicest way to say it, but you can see here these levels. We have more sort of historical levels here as well. So we want to be on the lookout to a push at least at these levels, and then potentially holding out for a greater, or I should say better, push to the upside, where we want to be sort of following this sort of track here. But let's wait for a good opportunity. Let's look out for that bullish potential once we hit this countering zone, should we hit this countering zone, and then we can push up hopefully to this zone here, or potentially even higher up to that previous high. Cool. Let's go back to the daily time frame, and we'll flip over to the GBPUSD. I'm just going to blow this one up a little bit. Excellent. So with this one, guys and gals, you can see that a couple weeks ago we encountered this this great countering zone up here twice. So this one punched through, but then it just produced a long wick. Test again, and then the bears said nope, they wanted a bit of a run, and you have a little bit of a trend there. You've got a lower high, and you certainly have a lower low. So it's one move. Trends usually have at least 3 to 4 moves. That's a really short one, but there you go. Anyway, we have a bullish, looks like it's a reverse hammer. Cool. So then that pushes us back to the upside, and now we're sort of headed up to this countering zone again. We want to be on the lookout for another retrace. I'm just gonna have to fix the color here. That's better. We want to be on the lookout for another retrace to the downside, but we do want to wait for that right opportunity and that right bearish evidence. So at the moment, based on sort of the movement you see over the past few weeks, this may take the entire week to materialize, or at least maybe until Thursday, Friday. Then we want to look for opportunities. Yeah. Now, should we encounter this zone here, you can see here as every time it's tested it in the recent past, we've had a good little retrace back to the downside. So then we want to be looking for a movement to these sort of levels in this area, which would be a nice little move, or potentially even lower. We really want to be getting down back to this countering zone down here, and hopefully we can take advantage of a nice bearish move. Cool. So those are my currencies for today. So y'all pop those in your charts and just keep an eye on them. Just remember also, guys and gals, I don't know how you're setting up your weeks, but Mondays especially, the market doesn't really have a lot of volume in it, so there's not a lot happening. You're still sort of in a holding pattern and seeing what is happening, but you probably won't make too many grandiose moves. Tuesday is usually then we're starting to see some really things happening, and by Wednesday, there's usually quite a few opportunities out there. But make sure the charts are set up, because if they're not prepared, what's the old parable from, I can't remember what ancient Greek poem it was, but destiny favors the prepared. So make sure your charts are ready and good to go, and it just increases your potential of having a successful trading week. Any questions, hit me up, give us a like and a share, hit that subscribe button. I will see you on Tuesday with another altcoin and ICA review. Until then, if y'all have any questions, just comment below, and happy trading. I'll see y'all real soon. Bye-bye.